Well, welcome back here to the Prairie View Cricket Complex in lovely Houston, Texas for the second game at Field 5 at this lovely facility in the CLPSS Cricket Tournament. This encounter features the Harpal 11 up against the Ohio Fighters. Harpal 11 would have won their first game today on the same ground, batting second, so batting first this time. 6 without loss after the first over. Short, cut away. Doesn't time it properly, so no run. Just treeing in his line a bit this over. 13 without loss, the current score. Harshil Patel with the ball in hand. Oh, and a wild swing and a miss there from Amit Patel. Scored a half century in the first game this morning. That would have been against the Mavericks, where they won that encounter by 7 wickets. Did the Harpal 11. And there's an appeal for caught behind, when in fact he was running away in celebration, and then turned to the umpire when he realized that things may not be going his way. Vivek Patel into his second over. Did have a decent shout. Seemed as if that delivery had been passing just close to the outer edge of the bat. Got away this time. Oh, and it paces the gap past the diving fielder at backward point and will run away for 4. Good looking shot there. That would be Nimesh Patel, batsman on strike. And thick outside edge, just will run away to the boundary as well with it. Oh, excellent work by the fielder down at deep third, coming across and getting his hand down just in time to stop that one. Raced off the outside edge. Look at this. Cut the hand to it and down in time. Good work there. On the boundary, need good support in the field to the Ohio Fighters. Extra bounce on that occasion. Rising delivery. Did well to keep it down. rolled his hands, rolled his wrists, playing the shot to ensure that there was no untoward elevation after the ball passed the bat. 19 without loss after 3. Swatted down the ground. Fielder there, so no run. So within the power play. So has to be mindful of fielding restrictions. Would only have 2 fielders outside of the circle from a vantage point. There's a deep third as well as a deep cover in place. So he's trying to keep that ball in around that 4th and 5th stump region. Ahmed Patel trying to play that cut shot on a couple occasions, not connecting as he should, or as he did in the first game, where he seems very confident indeed. This one is edged down to that deep third area. And just get a single. That completes the end of the fourth over. 21 without loss, the Harpal 11. Some 12 overs remain in this innings. Reminder that these matches are 16 over affairs. So not quite a T10, not quite a T20, but somewhere smack in the middle of it. Vivek Patel continuing into his third over. This is in the air. Chance for a catch. Oh, it falls short. No chance there for the fielder coming in. Dropped down just before. And they get a single. That was dangerously close to the wide line. I think the batsman was also just having a look at the umpire, trying to figure out where that delivery actually passed, but adjudged to be a legal delivery in the end, and completes the end of the 5th over. 23 without loss. Let's see where that delivery actually passed. Oh, just within the wide line. The batsman, he walked across belatedly also. Five overs completed, 24 without loss. New bowler into the attack. He's making some adjustments to the field. This one peels off the outside edge. Got a quick single. They're looking for the second with the overthrow, but sent back by his partner. Playing a miss. In fact, I think he saw some away movement in that delivery. Just as it passed edge of the bat. So pitching. Yeah, you see just as it hit the surface, just seemed away past the outside edge of the right hand batter. This is in the air. And one bounce to the fielder. Peel got behind. Umpire casually shakes his head to say not out. But it's been really good bowling though. He's maintaining a very nice line and length. That's in that corridor of uncertainty between that fourth and fifth stump, as you mentioned. Harshil Patel into his third over. Both he and Vivek Patel have had a very nice opening start for the Ohio Fighters in the field. And that will complete the end of the sixth over, making it 28th without loss. The end of the power play. But dare say it's evenly poised at this stage. 28th without loss, no wickets. 10 overs remain. Both batters still at the crease. The run rate not getting away from the fielding team. At the same time, the batsmen played and missed at a few. So we'll be just trying to ensure that they get their eyes in, get bat onto ball, and they will have to use this foundation to continue with a proper platform for the Harpal 11. Don't want to have a situation where these two batters, after spending some time at the crease, happen to be dismissed and then bring two new batters in to face the music. New bowler is going to be Mital Patel. This is in the air down to the fielder, long on, and a catch taken safely into the hands of Vivek Patel. And a very good catch indeed. Regulation, but we did see some easier catches being dropped previously. So kudos to Vivek for taking that one. And this delivery was in the slot. Mital Patel with the breakthrough. So it was a bit over pitched, as you see in that half volley region. Cross batted shot down to long on and into the hands of Vivek Patel. One would have thought that he could have probably just gone through the offside instead of going across the line of the delivery. Maximize the pace, maximize the effort, but fortunately he has to depart. And the first wicket falls 29 for 1. take a look of some of the sponsors and involved entities in this CLPSS Premier League 2025 Season 2. Look at some of the teams listed. Of course, Season 2 hosted by Friends 11. And back at the action. .30 for 1 now with that single. Parth Patel getting off the mark with the first delivery that he faced off strike. Oh, the delivery just nipped back at the batsman. He's in a bit of difficulty. Just checking his glove to make sure it's alright. Some good camaraderie between the wicketkeeper and the batter and striker as well. Nice little chat in between the overs. In between the deliveries also. If they get the opportunity. This is flicked down to backward square. Again, this extra bounce from Mital Patel is truly impressive, because he's not just generating extra bounce but also pace under delivery as well. As the 7th over comes to an end, 32 for 1, Harpal 11 against the Ohio Fighters. Parth Patel comes into the attack, and it's played by Parth Patel. So, very unique situation where we have both the bowler and the batter with the same first and last name. Hoisted away on the leg side. Just get a single. Protection down at deep mid wicket. This is in the air, down to long on. Drops and rolls toward the fielder. It's a very wide long on also. Usually you see them positioned just at the edge of the width of the side screen, but it's very wide on that occasion. This is in the air from Parth Patel with the bat, and it goes all the way for 6. So almost directly into the media center here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex, field number 5. And I think it was noticeable the angle within which Parth Patel is shaping up as a batsman. Anything on his body or in his pads, he's going to take advantage of. Look at that. Slower type delivery. Just stood up when it bounced. And a really tape ball type shot. The back foot just making a slight adjustment while the hands came through freely. Striking him on the pad, and the umpire's nodding his head, and now the finger is raised. So Parth Patel strikes, the bowler that is, and dismisses Parth Patel, the batter. Not often you get to see these situations in cricket, but it's one of those days where we are blessed and privileged to see such unique circumstances unfold in front of our very own eyes. So you can see it was a foolish length delivery. Seen as if he was shuffling across and hit him plumb on the pads in front of the wicket. So the umpire, you could see his head nodding as soon as the bowler turned. The batsman was just lingering for a moment, possibly waiting to see if there was any benefit of the doubt to be given to him, but unfortunately, he has to go. In the air, off the outside edge. And the catch taken. Another wicket falls. So that's 2 and 2. Really good work here from the bowler. Jack Patel being dismissed. And the score now goes on to 41 for 3. Mital Patel to continue. Cut away nicely, but straight to the fielder. And a hesitation from the striker. The non-striker was pummeling down the wicket. Purav Patel wanted to get on strike. Amit Patel wanted to stay on strike. Well, what a previous over though from Parth Patel. Take a look at that previous wicket. Just spliced off the outside edge. And catch taken at backward point. Punch into the offside and a quick single. Nice smart cricket. You need to take advantage of any scoring opportunities because at this rate, the Harpal 11, they are certainly not scoring as freely as they did in the first game against the Mavericks. Of course, different opposition, different factors to consider. But 43 for 3, sorry, after 8.3. Just past the halfway stage, should get a wide there and does. So 44 for 3 after 8.3. Projected score 102. Now with 16 overs, again a very unique concept. It's a sort of game where you're looking to see what's an ideal projected score or pass score. Down to the mid-wicket boundary and goes away for 4. Nice looking shot there. Amit Patel showing why he wanted to keep the strike. As I mentioned, he did score a half century in the first game on the same pitch and wasn't too long ago. So he'll be relishing that form. Want to take it through to this game and as well as the rest of the tournament. Pulled away. This is behind square. And goes away for another 4. A bit too short from Mital Patel. Conceded 2 boundaries in this over, and his first over was very impressive. Yeah, short, and you can see angling down the leg side allowed Amit Patel to just swivel and help the ball on its way to the backward square boundary. 9 completed, 53 for 3. Projected score going up ever so slightly to 118 after a couple of boundaries to end that over. See a lovely green lush outfield here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex. Really picturesque sight. Got one. They're looking for 2. Again, hesitation. It's not the first time that we have seen that between Amit Patel and Purav Patel. Pulled away. In the air. 2 fielders converging. Long off, long on. And the catch is taken by long off. Really well taken also because it was dipping. It did go high up in the air. And while the ball was coming towards him, was coming down at a fast rate. Never easy to judge those catches. And he also had to time when he would have put his hands outstretched. Good work from the bowler also. Seen left arm orthodox take a few wickets today. Look at that flight. And in fact it was a full toss, but as I mentioned in the first game, those full tosses are never easy to hit. Look at this. Ended up taking the catch very low down indeed. And that's what I was speaking about in terms of how difficult it is to judge and assess those shots where the ball goes very high into the air and comes down rapidly. So, made it look comfortable in the end. I'm sure there might have been one or two butterflies around prior to that wicket, but nonetheless, the fourth wicket falls. It's 55 for 4 now. Wicket of Amit Patel for 19 of 33 deliveries, 2 fours, no sixes. Stark contrast to the first innings that he played in the first game where he scored a half century. Now with those quick wickets falling, you wonder what sort of total would the Harpal 11 be looking towards. That's a lovely delivery, and he's given him leg before wicket. First delivery that is faced by Parth Patel. Given Kohli Patel striking 2 in 2. Power of spin and flight doing all of its might. Through and around the wicket. Don't see that much these days. And look at that flight and drift also. That ball you can see drifted in towards the pads. Wasn't necessarily turning away. And struck him on around that middle and off stump region. So umpire rightfully adjudging that it would have gone on to hit the stumps. Good work here from Kohli Patel. 2 wickets, 2 runs in his first over. And that was another Parth Patel that was just dismissed for, unfortunately, the first ball 0 or first ball duck, as is referred to in cricket terminologies when a batsman is out without getting any runs on the board. New batsman in, Neil Patel. And he's bowled him, and it's a hat-trick. It's a hat-trick for Kohli Patel. Excellent work here from the veteran spinner. And as you see, the bail of the leg stump laying on the ground, it certainly tells the story of this spell here from Kohli Patel. Batsmen have had no answer apart from the first wicket, which was a full toss, a dipping full toss at that, so not necessarily the easiest to hit, but the catch was taken. And now we see the celebrations, because previously after the first 2 wickets he told the fielders to stay in their positions. I think he had a plan. He wanted to celebrate upon the hat-trick. So the first wicket that fell was caught at long off of a dipping full toss. The second wicket, a drifter into the pads of the batter, who was adjudged leg before wicket. And the third wicket, take a look at it here, again through and around, bowling wide of the crease, angling in to the batter, and that, I am not sure how the batsman missed that, because he seemed to have his bases covered, but it went on to clip the leg stump, and the bail was dislodged. Kohli Patel, you beauty. Hat-trick. 3 wickets in 3 consecutive deliveries. Only 2 runs being scored in this first over from Kohli Patel. And he still has 1 delivery left in the 10th over. 55 for 6 now. brings Janish Patel to the crease. Oh, and for a moment there, he sensed as if that was going to be another wicket. Goalie with his hands on his head. Rightfully so. Excellent over. Excellent performance from goalie Patel. 1 over, 3 wickets, 3 runs. Pushes the score up to 56 for 6 at the end of 10. Full toss. Skewed shot. No run from the left-hander. Pleasant sight to see a left-handed batter. Haven't seen much of them in the first game and the second. You know that left-handers always tend to have some extra flair, natural at that, whether it be batting, bowling, fielding, everything they do just seems to look a bit more appealing. And I myself being a right-hander, I've never understood it fully. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, but really can't explain it. This is through the offside for another single. For a moment there, in fact, did he run? I don't think he did, because he... Okay, yes, he did. He was looking for the second then, because there was a slip. Not a slip in place, but a slip from the batter after he played the shot. Another dipping full toss. Straight down the ground. Will it go all the way? No, it doesn't. Mital Patel, looks like, was coming around there from the long on boundary and restricted them. Prevented the 4. "11 overs completed, 60 for 6. Goalie Patel is certainly bowling some magical deliveries here because the batters are just not able to get him away. This time, it's in the air, it's down to the field, and it's through his hands. My word. Is that Kapsil Patel? Looks to be. Bowler not pleased at all, and rightfully so. You just picked up a hat-trick. Just bowled 2 consecutive dot deliveries, and look at that. Again, that dipping full toss. It worked once before, so why not try it again? Through the hands. This time along the carpet. Chance for a run out, and he was just a bit too far behind the stumps to collect and clip off the bails in good time. No full toss. And did he bisect the fielders? Yes, he did. So not to be critical of Goalie Patel because he does have 3 wickets to his name, but I think on 1 or 2 occasions he's tried that dipping full toss a bit too often. They're just waiting on those deliveries now. And that's better. Take all the pace off of it. Force them to put the power and the timing. Safe outside edge for a single. Completes the over. 72 for 6. The Harpal 11 after 12. In the air, straight down the ground. And goes all the way for 6. Umpire with his arms outstretched to confirm. So I've seen some resistance here after they were struggling at 55 for 6 now. A couple of good strikes in the previous over and this one. Send back and he misses the throw. Oh no, the wicketkeeper does not collect the ball cleanly. And therefore misses the run out. Look at this. Return coming in. Oh, it just doesn't get it in his gloves. Batsman was short of his ground. And this one is miscued. Up in the air. Fielder short mid wicket. And he drops the catch. He looks up at the sun as if to wonder if that would have affected it. But really and truly, I think he just went with the incorrect hand positioning. Look at that after this delivery. In the air again, and this one will also go for 6. So really a nice explosive partnership forming at the end here over just the last couple of overs. This would have been the dropped catch. You can see he's gathering under it. And went with that reverse cup position instead of open arms, open hands, palms. And that's why he was unable to take that catch cleanly. Really ought to have done better there, one would think. $86 for 6 after 13. In the air, down to long off. And that's another dropped catch. But this time it seems to have probably caused an injury. Hope that he's alright. Ball is now being retrieved. And sent back in. They're looking for the overthrow, are they? I think they are. With a moment of concern here, even the batters are walking towards him, and he looks to be in quite some pain. Wonder if he damaged one of his fingers there. Yes, you can see his teammate just indicating the ball would have probably hit off one of his fingers. See if we get a better idea here. Oh, and he was going for the catch low down and just seems to have probably hit the tip of one of his fingers. It's not an easy blow, is that? Hope that he's alright. I'm gonna get the treatment that he needs. Some really strong winds blowing across the ground. Players would be receiving that well amidst the blistering heat. Now we see some additional assistance being provided by virtue of the buggy cart. Players taking a chance to get some refreshments as well. We'll take a break and rejoin you shortly once we have resumption of play. So we're back here with play in the 14th over, 89 for 6. Just had a brief stoppage in play due to what seemed to be a heavy injury to one of the players on his hands, but thankfully he was up and about and ready to continue. In the air, feel that long on coming around and takes the catch. Good work there in the end. Ball did go quite a way up into a very blue sky. And catch taken comfortably. After all, we've seen some easy catches being dropped. So must commend any of the catches that are taken. Look at where the ball came off the bat from the lower end third. Not necessarily the toe off the bat, but down towards a region where don't get the proper connection or timing. And he seemed a bit hesitant when he approached it, but in the end made it look totally fine. 7th wicket down, 92 for 7 in 13.4. Some 2 overs and 2 legal deliveries remain after that wicket has fallen. If they can get up to 100, anything over 100 will be a plus, but just to reach that 100 mark for the mental sake of having 100 runs on the board can be imposing to other teams. Straight to short cover. Peels off the outer edge. No run. That completes the end of the 14th over. Seems as if delivery was missed on. Well, we're hearing shouts because by my calculation there's one delivery left. And the scorers are also shouting to the umpires to indicate the same. We saw this happen in the earlier game also, where the same exact incident. 5 deliveries were bowled, the umpires called over. The players were shuffling around. There were shouts from outside the boundary ropes from the scorers and team players that there's still one delivery left. And they in fact finished the over. They went back to the fielding position and they made the bowler complete the last delivery. On this occasion, however, same type of situation in terms of the circumstances and the context. Different teams, different personnel, same umpire also, I believe. Assuming that from the white mask that he has on to protect from the sun. But in this instance, the over has been adjudged complete. So 14 gone. This is pulled away and will go all the way for 6. Yes, it does. The umpire rightfully signals to acknowledge that maximum strike. Janish Patel is doing well. targeting him on the pads as he backed away from the crease, exposing all of the stumps but leaving it safely in the end as the bowler followed him. Janish Patel with a really important cameo for the Harpal 11. 21 off of 12 deliveries with 2 sixes. Mitesh Patel on strike. Connects with that one down to deep cover for a single, and that single will in fact raise the 100 for the Harpal 11. They now move on to 100 for the loss of 7. 3 deliveries remaining in this over and 1 over left in the innings. Carved through the offside, and that's a beautiful shot for 4. I think even the players didn't realize how good that stroke was. Carved it away from the fielders and no offside. Feel that long off was given chase, but the placement truly impressive. Just clearing that front leg. An inside out type of stroke. Onto that extra cover region. Just past it in fact. It's one of those gaps where you usually don't see any fielders specifically placed. But it's a nice shot to have in your arsenal when you're looking to find ways to continue run scoring. Pull the way down to long on. Looking for 2 and almost a collision there at the striker's end. So 15 overs gone, 106 for 7. 1 over remaining in this innings. Final over. No run. Good start to this final over. One run off of 2 legal deliveries. Hoisted down to long on. In the air. Falls safely. See the replacement fielder. If you're just wondering why is he in short pants, it's due to that unfortunate injury that one of the fielders suffered trying to take a catch. The ball seems to have damaged one of his fingers. And the replacement ever able and willing to assist. Oh, and it struck powerfully. Even umpire had to duck out of the way. Burst through the hands of the bowler. Really good work there in the end. Two legal deliveries left. 109 for 7. Can they get a couple boundaries here? Oh, intelligent bully. Oh, and it's a direct hit. Is he run out? Yes, he is. Square leg umpire raises his hand to indicate that run out delivery. And the final delivery of the innings is now complete. So at the end of it, Harpal 11. They close out on 111 for the loss of 8 at the end of their 16 overs. That means the Ohio Fighters, they will require 112 when they come out to chase in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. Be back with you shortly. Welcome back here to this encounter between the Harpal 11 and the Ohio Fighters. Harpal 11 amassing 111 for 8 in their 16 overs. The Ohio Fighters now chasing 112 for victory. Top scorer in the previous innings would have been none other than Janish Patel, 29 not out. Good cameo off of 18 deliveries. Purav Patel also 27 off 16. This is flashed into the offside. Got to work from the fielder to get a hand hit. Doesn't stop it completely though, but prevents it from going all the way for 4. First over completed. So waiting confirmation on the score from the online forum. So into the second over of the chase from the Ohio Fighters. Swing and a miss. The end of the first over, the score was 4 without loss. Opening pair of Amish Patel and Goli Patel. That's a beautiful shot. All the way down to that extra cover boundary. Waiting on the umpire to confirm the signal, and it's 6 runs. Just giving some extra width. Half body length. And allow them to just swing the full free flow of those levers. It really was as wide as possible within the line. So he was allowed to put full effort and force into that shot. The first 6 of the innings. Oh, it's a lovely looking shot. And comes all the way down to the Equipment Management Services Media Center. "16 without loss after 2.1 overs. 96 runs needed in 13.5 overs off of 83 deliveries. 10 wickets still in hand. Required run rate of 6.9. Kohli Patel on 3. Amish Patel on 13. Kohli, who had a brilliant hat-trick in the first innings of this game. 3 different types of wickets as well. Oh, and another swing and a miss. That's better. The shot that he rehearsed might have been more suited to the line of the delivery. Play through the offside rather than play into the leg side. Taking the ball from one direction and carrying it to another. Flicked away. Quick single taken. Smartly at that. Swept away, but it's down to the vacant part of the field. Still on a power play, so restrictions in place. He knew that there was no fielder outside of the 30-yard circle there, so even though the shot was a bit uppish, knew that he was safe in the end. Pick up a welcome couple of runs added to the total. Very good start here from the Ohio Fighters. 19 without loss. Appeal for caught behind, and he's given. Umpire with no hesitation raises his finger to dismiss Amish Patel. 14 off 11 he made. And it's a strike here for Janish Patel. Picks up his first wicket and the first for the Harpal 11. Wide outside the off stump. Seemed to pass underneath the bat, but clearly they heard something out in the middle, and the appeal was vociferous, such as the raising of the dreaded finger by the umpire. 20 for 1. 3 overs completed. So a new bowler comes into the attack. Dhaval Patel. First two deliveries, dots. Good start. Oh, a thick outside edge. There's protection at short third. In the air, lofted. Safely lands. Single taken. A wide delivery. And that completes the end of the fourth over. 22 for 1. In the air and over the infield. Again, taking advantage of being inside the power play and using their stroke selection to their advantage, placing the ball smartly away from where any fielder is positioned outside of the 30-yard circle. Not a blistering start by any means, but seem to just be getting into their stride. Need to pick up a couple boundaries just to ensure that the run rate does not climb too high. Bowling well here is Janish Patel, left down seamer, using his angles nicely, not giving anything with too much width to the batsman. And right on cue repeats in the same vein. Good areas from Janish. That completes the fifth over, 25 for 1. 87 runs required in 11 overs, 66 legitimate deliveries. the ground for another single. So now trying to rotate the strike. Don't want to leave it too late, and for the end where they have to score at a higher run rate, we need to try and rotate the strike from now so that it'll be easier in the end. 26 to 1, 5.1. Going under a runner ball at this point, and the required rate is just over a runner ball, so have to balance it here. In the air, and it'll go over the head of the fielder, land inside. Doesn't have the legs to go all the way to the boundary, and they should pick up a couple comfortably. And another lovely looking stroke through the offside, and some excellent footballing skills here. My word, did he pull that one back inside? Need to check and verify. Umpire seems to think so without any hesitation. Let's see what the benefit of the replay will provide. It's traveling at quite some distance. And yes, he did. He seemed to be very close to the rope, but most importantly, the ball came back into the field of play, which would have worked in his favor. I think just given the effort, he was rewarded with no need for any further verification. So that completes the end of the 6th over, 33 for 1. Going along steadily at this stage. No real impetus in the innings as yet. No real excitement either. Just going through the phases in terms of trying to rotate the strike. Really haven't seen much boundaries or much wicket taking opportunities. You just have to keep their focus. 79 needed in 60. Jack Patel now into the attack. In the air, into the gap, and it will get all the way to the boundary for another 4. Low full toss served up there from Jack Patel and was gladly accepted from Goli Patel. In fact, that was Nikanth Patel with the shot. Oh, it's a nice stroke. Very good placement indeed. I think it will run all the way to the boundary, does it? Yep, it does. Another 4. What I like about this is that he actually swiveled his entire body to, yeah, look at it there. In fact, mainly his wrist was used, but initially it seemed as if he was turning his entire body to face that leg side. Ended up in a standard position, but really quick bat speed. He tries to be cheeky with this one, just guide it and dab it into the offside. Straight to short cover, no run. And that completes the over. After 7, it's 42 for 1. Nitish Patel, new bowler into the attack. Squeeze through the offside. Wide out to feel that long off. So again, just going along at a runner ball at this stage. 48 for 1 after 8. They need 64 in 48 deliveries with 9 wickets remaining. Jack Patel continues. First over for 9 runs. And this is down the leg side, down to the fielder long on, but again drops shy of him. We've seen that many times. Either the ball drops short of the fielders or they go over the boundary ropes just after the ropes itself. So essentially it's either too little power or just enough. Only 1 or 2 strokes we have seen from the first game to this one that have safely landed over the ropes, but many half chances have been created either coming forward or going backward from the fielders. This is all along the ground. This is good bowling from Jack Patel, showing that he is consistent. And thus he is. So a fortuitous edge. Kohli Patel picks up a couple. End of the 9th over. 51 for 1. Lovely looking stroke there. Ran away to the boundary also four. Given the width and took full advantage of it. Similar type stroke. And this time straight to the fielder. Catch taken. So the second wicket falls. And they were waiting very, very patiently for this to Harpal 11 because it seemed as if the innings was just going through the motions. Batsmen didn't really seem to put any added impetus into the game. But now, hopefully there might be some change in the excitement or the nature. Almost identical type of shot to the one that he hit for four, but the lack of pace on his delivery, mistimed it, and just scooped in the air for the fielder at backward point to take a very comfortable catch. So 57 for 2 in 9.2. 55 runs needed in 6.4 overs, 40 deliveries with 8 wickets. So 55 and 40 essentially. That was in the air again, but this time fell short of the fielder. In the air, down to the gap between long on and cow corner, and pick up a comfortable couple of runs. Stepping across the wicket, playing a leg side shot. And even the wicket keeper is pointing to goalie and saying, well, look at where you are when the ball struck you. The umpire, however, did not seem bothered at all. And he had no intention of signaling any dismissal there. 60 for 2 after 10. Exactly a runner ball. Jack Patel now to continue. Cut away and nicely placed. This will run away to the boundary for 4. From the moment it left the bat, saw the angle of the shot. Knew that it was going to take some getting to from the fielder. But again, just served up there from Jack Patel. The batsmen are struggling to get runs on the ball. You don't want to give them these freebies short and wide outside the off stump. Just bowl the deliveries wicket to wicket. Force them to make and innovate shots. You see the fielder just signaling to pull the ball a bit slower. No need to rush it. Down the ground, fielder gathering, and takes the catch. Looks to be Purav Patel. Yes, it is. That's the guy with the safe pair of hands. And the umpire, he's not signaling 6. I think he's just requesting the ball. Purav Patel taking a comfortable catch. Jack Patel getting a much needed wicket. And you saw the fielder signaling to him, flight the ball, less pace. Force them to play the strokes as we just mentioned. And rightfully so. Ball skied into the air. And Purav Patel took a good catch coming forward. It's the fall of the second wicket. In fact, the third wicket. 66 for 3 now in 10.3. Jack Patel continues. Good delivery first up to the new batter. After getting the wicket from a flighted delivery, decided to go a bit flatter. Into the pads, into the wicket. .46 needed in 33. 7 wickets in hand. Flicked away for a single. The Ohio fighters here, they really need to make a standpoint in terms of how they are proceeding with the rest of this innings, because if they're just continuing at a run a ball, they're going to finish short of the target, and they still have 7 wickets in hand. And there we see a defensive stroke being played, so it's really a situation where you don't want to leave it all to the end. You don't want to leave it for the incoming batsman who won't have much time to settle. You need to get the runs while you can. We said that for the first 5 overs of the innings, said that for the first 10 overs of the innings, and yet they don't seem to be playing according to that fashion. But they must have a game plan in mind, so we'll wait to see how it unfolds. 67, 68 for 3 after 11. And that's a wayward delivery to start. Umpire now signaling a no ball, and rightfully so, because it's off the pitch. The bowler is inquiring as to why he made that decision, but it's clear as day. The ball pitched outside of the parameters. That's better, and he's got on the wicket now. Stumped. The interesting turn of events there was a no ball. Now, did the umpire signal the free hit? Whether he signaled it or not, they are operating as if it's a free hit, because they are hearing shouts from the sidelines that stumping does not qualify as a dismissal for a free hit. However, a run out does. Now this may be adjudged to be a stumping. So this is where the umpire signaled the no ball, pointed to outside of the pitch. So that's the signal there. Still pointed to outside of the pitch, and then he did signal the free hit, so that is confirmed. Another boundary added to the total, driven through the cover region. Take a look at this stumping again. So he was out of his crease, it's clear. He was short of the ground. The question that was being asked is whether it's a legitimate dismissal given the fact that it was a free hit and a stumping. By all means, it's not regarded as a dismissal with a free hit. The only way you can be dismissed is by being run out. This is in the air, lofted down to the fielder at long on. In fact, goes over his head for a welcome six. They needed that. They needed some more of these types of strokes earlier on in the innings so they didn't have to wait till it reaches down to the last moment. Just waited on it, didn't even have to move. In the air again, down the long on region. Completes the end of the 12th over. 81 for 3. 31 needed in 24 deliveries. 7 wickets still in hand. So it confirmed that the stumping was not given out and the batsman was allowed to continue. Path Patel, that was. One of the Path Patels, I should say, as we've seen a couple. And after that attempted dismissal, scored a 4 and a 6 in the over, which is just what the doctor ordered for the Ohio Fighters. Jack Patel has bowled 3 overs, 1 for 22, economy rate of 7.3. And he's going to bowl what I assume would be his 4th and final over. So it's an interesting number, 16 overs. You know that in all forms of cricket you have to have 5 bowlers at minimum. So if you look at 16 overs, 5 bowlers have to bowl a minimum of 3. And one of those bowlers perhaps will be allowed to bowl 4, which is the category that Jack Patel seems to be in at this stage, having bowled 3 overs previously into his 4th, 2 deliveries already underway. It's a very calm approach to the crease, does Jack Patel. Just a couple footsteps and into his delivery stride. Seen that from several left-arm orthodox spinners. In the air, mistimed, miscued, fielder getting there. Oh, and it's a valiant attempt. Does not complete the catch, but good effort there from Purav Patel. Did mention that he was one of the safer fielders around based on what we saw previously. Did have to come quite some way forward, Purav Patel. Oh, and was nowhere close to it in the end. And the wicketkeeper there, I think he missed the stumping. Look at his reaction at the end, and even the batter was wondering, where did that ball pass? This one just went down the leg side. And the batter was out of his crease. The wicketkeeper, instead of catching the ball, I think he was just putting his hands on his head in pure, genuine shock and dismay at the end of it. 13 overs completed. 85 for 3. $27 needed in 18. So another wicket falls. The Ohio fighters seem to be fighting an uphill battle at this stage. 85 for 4 now, 27 needed in 17. Last wicket to go. Parth Patel caught behind by Parth Patel and bowled Mitesh Patel. Batsman didn't even wait for an umpire, to be honest. He just walked, as you saw in the replay, played the stroke, and immediately started to walk off. We truly commend and applaud such sportsmanship. After all, cricket is known as the gentleman's game, and we need to see those shows of integrity and honesty from all players. And this is just tossed up. Oh, it's a wide now, signaled by the umpire. Thought that was close enough to the bat, but adjudged otherwise. The flight here is truly something to behold. Ball is going so high when he releases it. Look at that. Out of the screen, in fact, when it lands. It's so difficult to play for a batsman. And this is well played, in fact. Nice looking sweep shot down the ground. They get one. I think they should have been pushing for two. Good work by the fielder, but you need runs. You need runs to win this game. You're not going to win it by just batting out the overs. It's not a test match. It's a limited overs affair. 25 needed in 15. 6 wickets in hand, and they're still playing defensive strokes and only taking singles. One has to wonder what are they trying to achieve here, the Ohio fighters. This is in the air. Potential for another wicket. Oh no, it drops short again. One more added to the total. Nice looking sweep shot again, down to the same fielder. This time the single is understandable because it went with much more force and straighter towards the man position at the deep wicket boundary. Previously it went down to the backward square and they just walked through for a single. It's really astonishing. Dabbed to short third. So they take a single there, but they don't take two when it goes into a wider open gap. Nonetheless, it's 90 for 4 after 14. 2 overs left, 22 needed in those 2 overs. A runner ball is not going to cut it. In fact, they need 2 runs a ball or just under. Required run rate 11 per over. 2 runs per ball will get them to 12 and over. Some intense discussions taking place. Fielders trying to make effective decisions. Also the bowler, the captain, wicketkeeper, everyone getting involved. Batters just on the pitch. Well, the game is essentially there for them to win. It's up to them. If they don't get this victory, they will consider themselves to be very unfortunate, the Ohio fighters. But in fairness, part of that would be down to their own blame because of the fact that they left it for these last few overs to try and reach to the target. And when you have to score 2 runs a ball at this stage, it's never an easy task. Pulled away into the leg side. And again, just one as Daval Patel is the new bowler. Another left arm seamer. We've seen quite a flurry of them, as well as left arm orthodox. And they push through for the quick single at this stage. So that's what happens when you leave it all for the end to finish. You have to put yourself through unnecessary risks that could have been avoided earlier on if the right strategy would have been employed from the start. Pulled away backward of square. Runs close to the boundary. In fact, runs into the boundary. Boy, oh boy, they needed that, the Ohio fighters, if they want to have a fighting chance of still being victorious in this contest. Badly lined delivery. Batsman was already backing away behind the leg stump, and the ball went exactly where he wanted it to. So he could have just swiveled and put it away for 4. And it's 2 for 4 now, 20 needed. It's in fact 97 for 4, including that boundary. So 15 needed in 8 deliveries, 6 wickets in hand, all to play for here. Fortuitous edge, and they managed to get a single. Batsman was just getting some assistance from the square leg umpire out of the camera's view, having his shoelace retied. Maybe some good luck coming with that. Well, they were looking for the extra run. I think that was a good call from Mittal, in fairness. Doesn't seem as if Raj Patel, however, was inclined, even though that was not his call. He refused. And that's another wide. So Daval Patel really and truly has not bowled the best over in this third over of the innings for his spell. In the air, keeper getting under it, and the catch is taken. So another important breakthrough here for the Harpal 11. Keeper takes the catch after seemed as if he might have misjudged it. In the end, it's safely taken, and Raj Patel has to depart. One of the few deliveries that was lined on the wicket. In fact, it was still tearing past the leg stump from Daval Patel, because everything else was further beyond that leg stump, following the batters and also following the wide line. On this occasion, got the top edge from Raj Patel's bat, and the catch taken by none other than Path Patel. 100 for the loss of 5 now. 15 overs completed. 12 needed in the final 6 legal deliveries, 5 wickets in hand. Final over, 12 needed, all to play for. And he starts off with a wide. So 11 needed in 6 legal deliveries. Nimesh Patel comes back into the attack, bowled 1 over previously for 11 runs. Judging by that previous stat, it's going to be a close call here in this final over. He really needs to produce the goods for his team. Swatted down to long off, just a single it should be. And rightfully so. If he can keep them to run a ball, they will be victorious. What he needs to ensure is that he does not give any more extras, and also that he does not give any boundary scoring opportunities. Nothing too full or too short. Just keep the ball wicket to wicket. Maintain a nice length, and you're good to go. Just like that. They can get how many singles they like, but it's not going to take them to the final total unless they get a boundary. And that's exactly what he needs to avoid. It's in the air, but it's lands safely. And that's another wide. My word, he's giving it away here, is he? Too many extras. 3 wides in the final over. Cannot be having that. Straight down the ground. They have to push for 2 here. And they stay for 1. Five needed in 3. In the air again. And what will they try this time? Fuck, I think. Refused the run there. So it's 109 for 5. 3 runs needed in this one delivery. Straight down the ground. They have to push for 2. He sends him back. He sends him back, and they win by 1 run. Really trying to understand the logic behind that decision. They end on 110 for 5. If he came through for the second run at any point in that over, they would have been able to at least tie the game and force a super over. But at each point in that over, they refuse to push for 2. And it has reached a situation where the Ohio Fighters have ended on 110 for 5, and they lose by 1 run. The Harpal 11 are victorious, on the other hand, by 1 run, and they will certainly be rejoicing in that victory. So that's the news here from the second encounter. Harpal 11 victorious, 111 for 8 over the Ohio Fighters, 110 for 5. Stay tuned, and we have the third and final game of today coming up in just a few minutes.